Hey, Shruti, great to see you.
Hey, Joe, thank you so much for having us.
I appreciate your time. Ted, great to see you this morning.
Joe, great to see your smiling face as well.
Now, I know Zomentum is focused on MSP sales software, but what exactly does that mean? And what challenges are you solving for MSPs?
Sure. IT partners really, right? What they do is establish deep and rich relationships with the B2B customer set. They are the route to market for various products and services to reach many businesses across the world. Well, but what is happening is that the IT partner market is maturing rapidly. The early adopters of the managed services business model are growing very rapidly, and the rest of the IT channel industry is trending that way. We want to be an enabler of that growth for them. As for Zomentum, we're focused on building like a best world-class product for making these IT partners successful and give them tools that are future-proof and an enabler of that growth. What we do is we enable MSPs or partners to grow their business, add new customers, connect the dots, and actually spread their value. And to do that, we provide an all-in-one solution with various product modules that enables them to do that.
Got it. Okay. Now, before we talk about more about the product and the service for the MSPs, I want to rewind a little bit. Now, I think you have a venture capital background, and then your business partner, Rahil. Now, he's a veteran of Rubrik, I think. How did you meet, and how did you decide to build the company together?
Yeah, I mean, the idea for Zomentum was born over 3-4 years now, with my interaction with multiple enterprise company founders, right? As a part of ASCII, which is a venture fund, I was a part of another venture fund. So I've been doing that for over 4 to 5 years. What I realized through that journey was that most of these companies were struggling to get their product in front of enough number of customers. And we all know that today, building products is not the hard part, right? Even with great quality of product, sales is becoming a challenge for most of these companies because every buyer is almost inundated with product pitches. That was where I was coming from. Rahil had spent like 4 years at Twitter in the Bay Area before switching to Rubrik. I mean, he was one of their early engineering hires and saw Rubrik scale really fast. But what the stint at Rubrik actually helped him witness was that Rubrik saw this growth on the back of its partners. They never had a direct sales team. They worked with their IT partners to take them to market. So when I talked about the idea of taking the right product in front of the right business buyer via the partners, Rahil totally resonated with that, and which is why we both started working on it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, we're also fortunate this morning to have Ted Roller on the line. And I want to, just before we pull Ted into the conversation, I want to get a little bit of background. I think most of our viewers probably are familiar with Ted and his work in the IT channel, helping businesses and leading businesses to transform and engage MSPs through various partner initiatives. But how did you meet Ted, and how have you been working with him to build out your channel?
As a part of our research, given Rahil and I are not from the channel, we started reading a lot of industry magazines, ChannelE2E being one of them, attended a lot of industry conferences, reached out to multiple MSPs, found them on Facebook, Reddit, and all of these sources, right? And in one of these meetings, we met Jerry, who runs ASCII, and he actually put us in touch with Ted. But what was interesting about Ted was he owned an MSP himself. He had made an exit there. He had also worked with a company as a channel chief to take them to market. And right now he's working with a lot of other vendors as well to sell products through MSPs. But I saw this as a chance for actually his way of probably giving back to the community to help them grow their own business. I mean, that's my take, but more I think Ted will be able to answer on that.
Okay. All right. Hey, yeah. So Ted, from your vantage point, we do hear a lot from a lot of different companies who say, hey, I'm a technology provider. I can help MSPs to increase their sales. But that means different things to different people. When you first heard about Zomentum, what did you think was unique about the company? And what ultimately today do you think is unique in terms of how they're helping MSPs with sales?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I think Shruti hit the nail on the head. This really is an opportunity for me to help MSPs grow in a far more direct way than historically I've been able to do. When you're bringing a product to market that the MSPs actually take to market, there's a revenue opportunity here. What Zomentum does is manage the sales process from the time a lead comes in until the time you create a new customer. So that's a big process, arguably with a far greater number of touch points than servicing the customer from that point forward. From that point forward, you talk to people, you solve problems, you run a managed services business. But engaging and establishing trust and figuring out what their needs are and aligning their needs with your deliverables, that is a very complicated process. And it is one that is completely underserved by the channel from a tools perspective. That's what got me excited. Shruti and Rahil were not interested in creating a quoting tool. They weren't interested in creating a CRM. And every time we hear that, we kind of cringe. We're not a CRM. We are a sales enablement tool. The entire activity stack associated with sales, including assessment, including analytics, including figuring out how to make your business better. All of those things are what Zomentum is driving towards. My goal is pretty straightforward. I would love to see MSPs in the coming years say, I wish my PSA helped me run my business as effectively as Zomentum does. That's a big goal. The PSAs have been around a long time doing really great work. And there are new players in the game all the time, and they continue to evolve. But we've got big goals here. We want to see the MSP market be as effective at selling as they are at servicing their customers. Pretty excited about all that.
Excellent, Ted. Thank you. Now, Shruti, jumping back to you, the other thing I wanted to point out to our listeners and our viewers and our readers, this is a SaaS platform, right? You're not a consulting firm. This is a true SaaS platform and application that the MSPs can use to automate and enhance their sales.
Yes, that is correct. Well, what we also do as part of selling the SaaS software is also handhold MSPs and help them understand what the best practices are, what we are seeing across our client base, what kind of practices help you close deals faster and translate those learnings. We have like a dedicated onboarding process in which we take them through all of this. So of course, we are a SaaS platform, but we try to give as much learning as we've had from our customer base.
Got it. And Ted, I want to jump back to you since you're very familiar with all the players in the industry on the SaaS side and the consulting side. Do you see Zomentum as a something that works side by side with PSA and RMM and your existing tools, or is this a successor or replacement? How do you see it?
Great question. From very early on, maybe literally the first time I met with Shruti and Rahil, which was well over a year ago, we all knew that integrating with the entire MSP support tool stack was critically important to success. I don't see us as being a competitor with many folks. I mean, if you're a quoting tool, we're a competitor. There just really aren't that many CRM type solutions out there dedicated to the MSP stack. So not many competitors in that space. But from a PSA RMM perspective, we are additive. All we are going to do is allow MSPs to manage all the activity associated with closing new business, which at the end of the day makes a huge difference to RMM sales numbers, PSA sales numbers. If you're a distributor, you're going to love us because more sales happen, and that's what everybody wants. If you're a cloud-based vendor selling through the MSP market or the MSP community, you're going to love us too because we're going to enable sales. We're just here to make MSPs better from a sales perspective, plain and simple. And honestly, what that means is taking an incredibly effective sales process that exists today and automating it in an intelligent way specifically for MSPs and not just for anybody.
Got it. Ted, thank you. Shruti, I'm going to jump back to you. Now, I could be wrong, but I think you just raised venture capital. I don't know if you can disclose the number, but if you can, how much did you raise and how will you use the funding?
I'm like happy to disclose that we raised $4.1 million in seed funding from ASCII and SEF partners. These two are leading venture capital firms across the globe, and they invest in early stage companies. Well, I mean, the funding actually, I think, is a proof of our commitment to the channel and a singular focus on making the IT partner ecosystem thrive and scale with a modern and intelligent tool set. And just to support that and to deliver on that promise, we are going to be investing in acceleration of product development, recruiting world-class team to act and deliver on that promise.
Got it. Fantastic. And then just to give some timing for, our viewers and listeners may view this in years from now, months from now. So just to put a timestamp on it, we're recording this in mid-July 2020. What are your key priorities for the rest of this year?
Priorities similar to, acceleration of product development, but the way we've done this is taken inputs from our existing partner base. We also take inputs from thought leaders in the market to help drive this product strategy. And that's something we'll continue to do, and I hope to do when we are tens and thousands of partners larger also. So yeah, we'll take that route to investing in product development and growing the team.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank both of you. First, Ted, I want to thank you once again for bringing us some insights in terms of where the industry is going and some new vendor developments. So Ted, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe. It's been great being here.
Always great to see you. And then Shruti, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you. Best wishes for the continued momentum of Zomentum.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks so much.